Hello everyone, welcome. How is everyone doing? Now, as always, I'm going to have to wait for a bit till everyone gets notified, so I'll just stare into the camera and wait till I start seeing you all logging in, and then we can dive into today's session. So hopefully you've had a nice Sunday so far, everyone. And I hope you're going to be as interactive as you all normally are. So I am looking forward to a two-way conversation. Today is just going to be a general Q&A on confidence-related topics or communication-related topics. So if you have anything you've been meaning to ask me related to your personal development or professional development, just type it in the comments, and I will try my best to answer those questions. To get us started, I have put together 3 or 4 questions. I've picked them from all the emails people have been sending me over the last few weeks. Because we only have a short time together, I have had to handpick those questions which I thought would be of maximum benefit and value to a majority of people. So I've only picked about 4 questions today for the Q&A session. But if you have anything specific that you want to ask me today, I know a lot of people have been sending me lots of messages with many different questions. Unfortunately, I can't reply to everyone with personalized solutions, but I think this is a good time whenever I do the monthly Q&A for you to ask any questions and get them answered. Hi Yogini, how are you doing? So please do say hi and hello to me so that I know you're watching and hopefully enjoying. Now, you may be aware that I've taken a small break from Facebook, and I must be honest, I'm missing it terribly. I'm so used to posting on a regular basis, practically every day. I create a lot of content and it's out there. But I decided to take a break, so about 2.5 to 3 weeks, mainly because I am currently focusing on writing the first draft of my 3rd book, and that takes a lot of self-discipline and a lot of focus, a lot of time and energy. And when you're on social media, the amount of time I am creating content, it can get a bit distracting, which is why I thought, look, let me take a break and just focus on all the writing projects that I'm currently involved in. So there's the 3rd book, and there's a few other exciting little things that I'm working on, and as time progresses I will definitely let you know more about it. Let me say all my highs. Look at all these wonderful people saying hello. Hi Shireen, hi Geeta, hi Aruna, how are you all doing? So yes, I was talking about the break that I have taken from Facebook. In the meanwhile, YouTube has very much been on, so moving forward I will be posting all my videos only on YouTube. I may occasionally share the link on Facebook, but hopefully you've all subscribed to my channel, because I will be posting every Tuesday and every Friday as of the coming week. So Tuesday will be tip of the day Tuesday, when I will share quick and easy communication tips to help you have better conversations in your day-to-day interactions. And Friday will be Munchies for the Mind, where I will be talking about current issues related to self-confidence and self-esteem building. So every Tuesday and every Friday I'll be posting new videos on YouTube as of the coming week. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, it's called Nim Golkar, and it will be communication and confidence tips for professionals. So hopefully you'll all enjoy those videos that will be coming up. Don't forget to subscribe. Today is a general Q&A session. If you have any questions related to personal development or professional development, please type those in the comments, and hopefully I will do my best to answer that during the live session. I'm not able to answer any questions once the live session has ended, but if we get time while the session is on, by all means. Okay, so is the volume clear for everyone? Because I don't have my tripod here today, so there is no way for me to hook in the mics. So hopefully you can all hear me clearly, and if you can't, please let me know as soon as possible so I can adjust it. But for the moment, if it's all good, let's get on with today's video. So it's a general Q&A, and I've picked 4 questions to get us started, but more than happy to take any live questions that you may have. Okay, so the first question, I'm reading it out to you. Oh, Yogini says it's very audible. Thank you so much, Yogini, for letting me know. I can continue now without worrying about the audio, so that's good. Thank you for that. Okay, so the first question that I was asked is, I find it difficult to say no, because of which I'm always feeling exhausted and frustrated. Also, many people have started taking advantage of my inability to say no. So let me quickly repeat this question that I've received in my inbox. I find it difficult to say no, because of which I'm always feeling exhausted and frustrated. Also, people have started taking advantage of my inability to say no. Now, I think this is a very interesting question. How many of you watching empathize with this person who wrote to me? Do you too find it difficult to say no to people, because of which a lot of people might be taking advantage of that nature? Anyone out there who feels the same, that they have difficulty setting boundaries, saying no to others, and you've got into this habit of constantly saying yes to everyone? Yogini says, me, I'm glad to know I have company, because Yogini, I was at that point a few years ago where I was constantly saying yes to everyone and, taking on so much on my plate that I had absolutely no time for myself, no time for my own priorities, and I was worn out just doing things for everyone around me. So I'm sure many of you watching this video will agree with the person who sent me the email that sometimes it is very difficult for us to say no to other people. So let me give my perspective on this. I think many of us have got into the habit of constantly putting others' needs in front of our own, which in itself is not a bad thing. But like I say, too much of anything is not good. There are many different reasons why we do that. First of all, it's because of our inherent good nature. We want to help others because we are caring. We care about their well-being. Also, subconsciously, it is entirely possible that we want to be seen as helpful. We want to be seen as likable. So we want to be liked, we want to be popular. We don't like to let others down. So we're constantly sort of trying to think how we can prevent others from not thinking too badly about us. We want to be there to help. Now, this is fantastic, and I highly encourage everyone to help their fellow human beings as much as possible, but not at the cost of your own health, emotional and physical well-being. Okay, so it's very important. Now, I know a lot of people say, oh, Nim, but I feel really selfish when I put myself first. And yes, that is a very human and a natural reaction. But what I want you to know first and foremost is it is not selfish to put yourself first occasionally. In fact, it is very much required. In fact, and my favorite example is when you're on the airplane and there's an emergency, heaven forbid, the crew, the staff will tell you to put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you can look after the people who are dependent on you or who you care about. Because unless and until you are operating at optimal level, you're not going to be able to help the people who are depending on you. And it's the same for everything else in your life. You may have some friends who have got so used to you constantly saying yes that they've learned to depend on you for everything. And you know what happens then? One fine day you get up and you're saying, to hell with all this, I can't do this anymore. And then you'll say a flat no to whoever it is who's asking you. And you'll come across sounding rude, and the other person will be offended, and a friendship might possibly break. Why is this? Because they have got used to taking you for granted. Now, we need to also take note of the fact that we ourselves might be responsible for making other people get into the habit of taking us for granted, right? Because I know even though we like to think we're the victim and we get into this no one understands me kind of mindset, we ourselves really have been our own worst enemies, because we've always put ourselves last. Everyone else has started depending on us, and then we say, oh, well, I'm always taken for granted, and we forget the part we played. So the best thing I would suggest moving forward is In small situations where the stakes are not too high, start practicing the art of saying no every now and then. Like anything else, it's a learned skill and it becomes easier with practice. Don't worry about whether or not the other person is going to be offended. People will eventually understand. They will learn that with you there are certain boundaries and certain lines that they cannot cross. Now, I have noticed that some people are not quite sure how to respond, and when they say no to a request, they come across sounding quite rude and aggressive because they're not quite sure how to put it across. So I think body language, your tone, your choice of words is very, very important when you're saying no to anyone, whether it's a close friend, a family member, or a colleague at work. So there are two options that you could do. The first one is to say something like, I would have loved to help you, but currently my plate is full and my schedule is quite packed. By saying this, you're not sounding rude, but you're sounding firm enough to let them know that if you could, you would have helped them, but because of your schedule being the way it is, you cannot help them. Now, trust me, this is something I say quite often, and it goes down quite well because people do appreciate the fact that you are busy. It's just that you've got to train them to start thinking in a certain manner. The second thing is you can actually, instead of declining any form of help outright, you can choose to meet them halfway. So for example, if someone has said, Nim, can you help me on A, B, and C? And if I think that's a bit too much and a bit overwhelming, then I might offer to help just on the A part of it. And maybe for B and C, they can look for other resources, or I can point them at a different direction. But it's very important to start putting those boundaries as soon as possible so that people themselves get enough time to understand that with you, that's the way it is. So hopefully that helps whoever has been listening. Let me check who all have been commenting. Hi Sadhna Kaki, how are you? And Ku Art has a question. I get nervous talking to my peers and I go around and round with the topic wherein it's a simple thing. Thank you for that question, and I know that is a common problem with a lot of people because I have met many people who are just not able to come to the point straight away, and a lot of people tend to go around in circles. They end up confusing themselves, they end up confusing the listener, and also when you ramble on, it is difficult for people to take you seriously, because good communicators are those who are able to put their point across in a brief but clear manner. So I suggest that if you are having that same problem, and many of you listening might be having that problem where you feel it's difficult for you to come to the point, is ask yourself before you start talking 3 questions. What? So what? Now what? So what is the issue at hand that you're talking about? The so what refers to why is it important, and the now what refers to what are you going to do about it. When you think of this formula and you sort of stay within that framework, it's a lot easier to stay on track and to speak just the right amount, or to give just the right amount of information that is requested. So hopefully that answers your question. And Poonam says hi. Hi Poonam. Okay, great. So if you have any questions, for those who've only just joined in, it is a Q&A session. Today I have picked for 3 or 4 questions, but if you have any questions for me today related to personal and professional development, confidence, or self-esteem, or communication related, please do ask me. I'm going to move on to my second question that was emailed to me. And I find this question extremely interesting. So let me just take a sip of water. How's everyone doing? Don't forget to say hi to me so that I know you are at the other end. Okay, the second question I was emailed was, hi Nim, I am a highly sensitive person and I often get offended by little things. My friends feel they have to always think before they speak to me in case I get upset. How can I change this? Now, that's a very interesting question, and I know many of you might identify with it. Either you yourself are someone who is overly sensitive, who gets very upset at the smallest of things and who takes life very seriously, or it's entirely possible that you know someone around whom you have to walk on eggshells. Now, you may have heard of this phrase, walking on eggshells, which is basically trying to monitor everything you say in case the other person gets offended. Now, personally, I know a lot of people like that, and I'm sure you do too. But in case it is you who is a bit like that, then I have a strategy for you. So I'm just going to read this question that I was emailed again. Hi, Nim, I'm highly sensitive. I'm a highly sensitive person, and I often get offended by little things. My friends feel that they have to always think before they speak to me in case I get upset. How can I change this? Fantastic question. Anyone else watching this has met people around whom you have to walk on eggshells? With whom you have got to mind every word in case they get super offended by something you say? Does anyone have friends like that? Hello? Does anyone want to answer that? Does anyone have friends or know people in the family or know people at the workplace who get easily offended, who make a mountain out of a molehill, who take things super seriously, so that you've got to be very careful about what you say around them in case they misunderstand and take it the wrong way? So that's the question I've been asked, and the piece of advice I would like to give this person who has emailed me is that many times when you are overly sensitive to someone else, or if you constantly take things the wrong way, or if you feel hurt and offended whenever your friends say something which could be completely innocent but you take it the wrong way, chances are that it all stems from your own insecurities. Because deep inside, you are not at peace with yourself. Because deep inside, you don't think you are of any worth. Because deep inside, you just don't like who you are. That's why it becomes so difficult for you to take things lightly. And that's possibly why you're taking life and yourself and everyone else around you so seriously. So, and I think that confident people who are at peace with themselves, who love themselves, are not easily offended as a rule, because they are not swayed by other people's opinions, right? They know what they stand for, and because of that, they're able to sort of take things a little bit more lightly. They're able to see things with a bit more humor. So the first step I would suggest to this person who sent me an email, as well as anyone watching who also suffers from the same thing, which is being overly sensitive and easily offended by other people's remarks and comments, etc., is to make your own relationship with your own self a little bit healthier. Okay, you need to start working on and building your self-confidence and your self-esteem. Now, I know you're probably thinking, Nim, that's easier said than done. Trust me, it is not easier said than done. It is easy to do it as long as you have some sense of discipline and focus and a true desire to evolve into a confident person. The best way to start becoming self-confident and aware of what you have to offer is to make a list of all your strengths, okay, all the things that you're good at. Think also about compliments that people have given you over the years, because chances are that if you've been getting the same compliment, there is a pattern, and it means that if you look deeply enough, there is a skill that lies hidden there. Okay, so think back to what people have complimented you on over the years. Make a list of all your strengths. Go back to all your performance reviews at work and see what your managers have praised you on, and compile it all into a list. And read that list regularly and keep adding to it as you grow and evolve as a person. Because when you keep that list of your strengths handy, you keep reminding yourself that I am worth it, I am good, I matter. And that's one of the easiest ways to start building your self-confidence. Okay, so if you have been constantly feeling offended by other people, that's my first suggestion. Start working on your self-confidence. The second thing is just to maybe not take things so seriously. It's all, when you start thinking everything is about me, then it becomes a problem. Everything is not about you, right? The world is super busy and is obsessed with its own problems. No one has the time to think so much about you and I. Right? So let's stop thinking that everyone is against us or everyone is talking about us, because chances are they're not. So the first thing to do is to stop caring about what other people think about you, is to start building your own self-confidence. Any questions so far? Shireen says, awesome. Thank you, Shireen. Hi, Priya. Priya says, yes, not with friends, but with my close relatives. Yeah, very true. I'm sure a lot of us have relatives around whom we walk on eggshells, around whom we have to be very careful what we say, around whom we've got to choose our tone in case, heaven forbid, we choose the wrong tone. Who knows, they'll go off into a huff and sulk for next half century or whatever it is. It's amazing how some people sulk forever. I have never understood that. I mean, I think that's such a colossal waste of life, right? Sulking. I mean, look, sulking is natural and it's human. We all do it. But I think we need to know where to draw the line. I mean, I'm sure you've met people who can, keep that whole silence thing for weeks on end, where they will not talk to other people. And I'm just fascinated when people do that, because I think that's a bit cruel, first of all. And I think it's not nice to give the silent treatment to people. So yeah, if you've got sensitive people around you, either at work or at home or whatever, it's possible that it stems from their own insecurities. Just knowing about that hopefully makes things a little easier. But if it is you who feels easily offended, then like I just said, we can start working on our self-confidence by recognizing our own strengths. And Poonam says, oh, awesome, getting a positive vibe. Yay, I love positive vibes. And I think the more positive vibes there are out there in the universe, the more positive people there will be. And the more positive people there are, more positive work will be done, right? There's no room for negativity. And yeah, I think the world can become a better place. And Poonam says, I have a question, but I am traveling, so network fluctuations. Poonam, try posting it. Hopefully we will see it in the time we have here today. Let me know how it goes. Otherwise, I can answer it in the next Sunday chats, hopefully. But try posting it and we'll see what happens. Okay, so that was the second question. And now I'm going to ask you, now I'm going to read out to you the third email that I was sent. So whoever has just logged in, we're doing a general Q&A related to self-confidence and communication, my two favorite topics in the whole wide world. I've just read out two emails to you. The third email I was sent by this person says, at the beginning of 2019, I made a resolution that I will exercise for 1 hour every morning. I did it for a week, but lost motivation after that. Is there a way I can go back to achieving that goal? What a great question. I'm sure this person is not alone. I'm sure many of us, whether we admit it or not, have made New Year resolutions that lasted sometimes for half a day, sometimes for half a week, sometimes for half a month, and then we've let go of it. Anyone watching this has done the same? Made these super grand New Year resolutions on the 1st of January, and then it fizzled away. Anyone? Because I know I have, for sure. So I feel the pain of this person who's just written me this email. I'll read that out again for those of you who missed it. She says, at the beginning of 2019, I made a resolution that I will exercise for 1 hour every morning. I did it for a week, but lost motivation after that. Is there a way I can go back to achieving that goal? Yes. That's the short answer. So maybe this is not the resolution you have broken. Maybe just replace it with whatever other resolution you had made at the start of 2019 when you thought your entire life is going to be transformed because you are going to put this new goal into practice, and it never happened and it fizzled away. Don't beat yourself up about it, because it is super normal and it is very human, and all of us at some point have faced the same thing. So I'm going to help this lady who's asked this email get back on track, and hopefully you can use the strategy I talk about to help you with whatever goals it is that you are currently struggling with. So this lady had made a goal that she was going to exercise for 1 hour every single morning at the start of 2019, right? And then a week, she did it really well for 1 week. She was really good. She probably hopped on the treadmill, or I don't know, went to the gym or whatever. She hasn't mentioned that, but whatever it was, it lasted for a week, and then lo and behold, it fizzled away. Now it's been obviously 4 months, right? We're at the end of April, and she has not been able to go back to exercising for an hour. She probably thinks every night, tomorrow's the day, or next Monday, as we all say, and next Monday I will start the diet, and next Monday I'll turn into this new person, and from next Monday I'm going to stop taking things seriously, and Monday never arrives, of course. So why does this happen? First of all, the goal is too big, particularly for someone who has zero motivation. Now, it's all well and good that she said she's going to exercise for 1 hour, but obviously it didn't last. Now what's happening probably is every night when she thinks, oh, I've got to get up in the morning and I've got to do 1 hour of exercise, she's probably also thinking about all the other things she has to do, which is fill up the dabba for the kids, for school, iron all the clothes and the uniforms, and send off those urgent emails that she was meant to do last week. All that plus the 1 hour of exercise, of course she doesn't want to do. So she opens the window and tosses the resolution out, and it's forgotten until 2020. Perfectly normal. So what I suggest instead is make the goal not just smaller, but heaps smaller. For example, instead, if you've not exercised or done that 1 hour of exercise for the last 4 months, I suggest don't set the goal of 1 hour. Tell yourself, tomorrow morning I'm going to wake up and just do 5 minutes of exercise. 5 minutes. Now people tell me, oh Nim, 5 minutes is nothing. I don't even feel as though I'm exercising. Hello, 5 minutes is 5 minutes more than 0. And for the last 4 months, you've been doing 0 exercise. So what's better? 5 minutes of exercise. Now, this is a psychological thing. For example, you hop onto the treadmill and you say, I'm only going to exercise for 5 minutes. Once you get started, you're probably going to tell yourself, this is not so bad. You know what? I'll do an extra 5 minutes. So you end up doing 10 minutes. And before you know it, you've got into a pattern. But if you tell yourself, oh, tomorrow I have to get up and do 1 hour of exercise, you're not going to feel motivated at all. So the important thing to remember is incremental goals. Start really small. If you can't do 5 minutes, do 3 minutes. Anything is better than 0. Okay, and it's a lot easier to feel motivated when you tell yourself that tomorrow I will wake up at 6 a.m. and will only exercise until 6:05. I know that sounds really funny and silly, but trust me, I've tried it in the past and it really works. It's a trick you play with your own mind. Okay, so tell yourself, I'm only going to exercise from 6 to 6:05. That is perfectly doable, and so you will do it. And continue doing 5 minutes of exercise for a week. And then maybe next week tell yourself, oh well, let me push it up just a little bit. So you don't go from 5 minutes to 25 minutes, you go from 5 minutes to 10 minutes. And that way you keep increasing the goals. That's what's called incremental goals. And maybe in 6 months' time, you are doing 1 hour of exercise, which is exactly what you had set out to do at the beginning of 2019. But if you sat around waiting for enough energy and motivation and time to factor in 1 hour every morning, you'd probably be waiting forever. Okay, so hopefully that helps you all. And how is everyone doing? Does anyone have any questions? Why is everyone so shy and quiet today? I know you're all there, and you know I love to talk to you all. So, and I know it takes a while to type questions, but not that long. So please, please, please write whatever it is that you want. If you don't have a question, just say hi. that'll do. So those were my top 3. Let me see if I've missed. Oh yeah, there was one more question. Oh, this is cute. So this person has written and said, Nim, you seem switched on and motivated all the time. What's the secret to your motivation, and how can I wake up in the morning feeling charged and motivated? First of all, that bit about Nim, you seem switched on and motivated all the time. The seem part might be true, but the rest is false, because I am 100% not switched on and motivated all the time. In fact, most mornings I wake up and think, I can't be bothered doing any of it. And that is the honest truth. That's how I wake up most mornings. And as soon as I open my eyes, I think, oh my goodness, do I have to do this? Do I have to write more content? Do I have to work on that book? That's the first thought, right? But like I just said, I keep my goals really small, and I ask myself every morning, what's the easiest, simplest, and quickest step I can do that will get me out of bed? Okay, because my goal is so super small and super easy, it's easy for me to whip up enough energy to jump out of bed. And then is what is important. When I take the first small, easiest, quickest step, then I think, oh, this wasn't too bad. Let me take another step. And then I take another step. So I build the momentum. Remember, if you've been watching my videos in the past, I swear by momentum. It's not about motivation. Now, I know I'm a motivational speaker and I shouldn't be saying this, but honestly, motivation is overrated. Momentum is underrated. It is super important. Momentum is what happens when you take one step and then another step and another step, and you slowly start feeling more charged, more ready to do the more important things, right, which you were originally thinking are too big to tackle. So building momentum is important. And thank you so much to this person who's written to me and said, you seem switched on and motivated all the time. Completely false. I'm never motivated all the time, but yes, I do work on my goals in an incremental manner, and that's how I build the momentum and try and complete as many things on my to-do list as it is possible to do. And then the other part of the question was, how can I wake up in the morning feeling charged and motivated? Well, that's probably never going to happen, because very few people wake up every single morning feeling charged and ready to take on the world. So stop putting so much pressure on yourself, guys. It's not going to happen. The most successful people in the world don't necessarily wake up feeling ready to take on the world, right? Just accept the fact that you probably will wake up feeling really crappy, feeling really sorry for yourself, and that's okay. The important thing is to remind yourself that you can't stay in that mindset forever. Okay, so if you wake up tomorrow morning and you don't feel supercharged, that's fine. I will probably be feeling the same thing, and so will be most of the rest of humanity. So the trick is to take one small step that is super easy, that's doable, and once you do that, tell yourself that wasn't so hard, and then you go on to do the next step, which is just a little bit more challenging, but not too much more. Okay, let's see what some of the comments are, and then I have to wind up, but I have a quick little story to share before I go off. Priya says, with motivating words, I'm enjoying a super cute expressions. Definitely you're in a very good mood today, and I'm smiling too with you. Oh, thank you, Priya. I think, again, good mood is a choice. Okay, because if you really think about, if I think about the last 24 hours, there have been some difficult moments, and there have been some arguments, and there have even been some tears, but like I always say, a good mood is a choice. Okay, it's a decision you have to make. I can sulk when I want to, and I can get into a bad mood when I have to, but I always tell myself, you get one life, and do I want to spend a large chunk of my life feeling sorry for myself or being in a bad mood? So thank you, Priya, for those lovely words. Very, very sweet of you. And what I would like to add to that is a good mood is a choice. And the more positive choices we make on a day-to-day basis, the less other people have negative power over you. Okay? Remember, at every point in life, you have a choice. Sometimes circumstances are beyond your control, but your attitude to what happens to you is very much within your control, and that's where our true power lies. And the sooner we recognize it, the faster we can reach the goals that we have set for ourselves. And Richa says, love your videos, Nim, so motivational, thank you. You're very welcome, Richa. I'm so happy that you enjoyed. And Priya says, I'm enjoying listening to you. And Mandy says, God bless you, thank you, God bless you too. Okay, now before I sign off, I was at a shopping center this morning, so that's a little story I want to tell you. And I even have a photo of that, and I will post it when I go back to creating content on Facebook. As you all know, I've taken a little break from Facebook for about 2.5 weeks. So I won't be posting anything just yet. But I was at a shopping center this morning, and I had gone to get a couple of things, and I went to take the escalator. And when I went to the escalator, it was not working. It was out of order. But there was this really cute little sign at the bottom of the escalator. I thought it was so unique and so cute. So I took a photo of it, and I will share it next time I post on Facebook. But basically it said, "Hi customers, I am exhausted from trying to be stronger than I feel. Sorry for not being useful. I will be back soon. Thank you for your patience." Isn't that adorable? Coming from an escalator. I was like, I couldn't stop laughing. I was just standing there like a mad woman laughing, and I took a photo. So basically the little escalator had a note. It said, "Hi customers, I'm exhausted from trying to be stronger than I feel. Sorry for not being useful. I will be back soon. Thank you for your patience." Now the reason I took a photo of this and I'm sharing this with you all, because it is so true of each and every one of us. Sometimes we too are fed up of appearing stronger than we feel. We are fed up of constantly having this mask on of Superman and Superwoman who's constantly on the go, who has all the answers. And inside we're feeling broken and empty. Like they say, you cannot pour from an empty cup. So if you've been super busy recently and super tired and constantly taking on more and more and more challenges, remind yourself that you cannot pour from an empty cup. Right? It becomes too much when we're constantly showing people and the world around us that we are stronger than we feel. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to show that you're not perfect. Okay, so I suggest take a break, slow down just a little bit, and it's okay if you don't have all the answers all at once. Many times we spend a lot of energy looking in every nook and corner for all the answers to life's questions, and there are no answers to be found. So I suggest sit back, take a deep breath, and just see what happens, because sometimes the answers themselves will come looking for you. Okay, so if you've done all the hard work and things are still not working out, or if you're exhausted, maybe it's time to slow down. It's not always possible to straight away pack our bags and go on a holiday, because we all have responsibilities, but certainly we can slow the pace down. So look at your calendars and see if you can remove something that is really not going to matter in the long run. Like I said at the start of today's session, see if you can say no more often. Right? Don't worry about offending people. They all know you're a good human and you've always been there for everyone. But sometimes it's very important for you to practice some self-care. You need to nurture yourself. You need to look after yourself, because if you don't, you can't possibly be there for the people who matter. Okay, so with that, I'm going to quickly read the last few comments. They just says, "Hi Nim, how do you overcome guilt of wasting time? Or in other words, if sometime day is not productive, how would you balance out?" Great question, Tejas. Again, all of us have experienced that. We feel guilty about wasting time, and then we feel guilty about feeling guilty, and then the guilt loop continues. Okay, so first we feel guilty about wasting time, then we feel guilty about the guilt we're feeling, and just goes on and on and on. So first of all, remember that everyone wastes time. It's not such a big deal. But you've got to ask yourself why it is that you're wasting time. Now, for example, for me, I love YouTube and I love checking out new videos. And before I know it, a lot of time gets wasted because I'm watching a lot of these videos, right? But then over the years, I learned a strategy. So now I know the things that I really enjoy, but which are also a waste of time. For example, I love watching, like I just said, YouTube videos, but then I end up wasting a lot of time. So what do I tell myself? That I will allow myself 30 minutes of YouTube only after I have finished tasks X, Y, and Z. So that way, I'm motivated to complete the tasks, and at the end of those boring, mundane tasks, I have these my exciting time on YouTube to look forward to. So Tejas, hopefully that answers your question. Feeling guilty about wasting time is perfectly normal and perfectly human. We all go through it. But the best way to stop wasting your time is to recognize which are your time zappers. Time zappers are the activities or things that waste your time. Okay, sometimes it's social media, sometimes it's hanging out with friends, sometimes it could be just pottering around doing things to avoid doing what really matters. So tell yourself, these are my time zappers. These are the things that are distracting. So for example, for me, social media can sometimes be a huge distraction, but I enjoy it. So I tell myself, okay, let me write my 2,000 words of the next book, or let me finish first 15% of this project that I'm working on, and then I'll allow myself 15 to 30 minutes of YouTube, right? So that way I get the best of both worlds. I get my work done, I feel good about it, and then when I'm enjoying myself and doing the things that are my relaxation, I don't feel guilty. So Tejas, hopefully that answers your question. And Geeta says, where did that go? Yes, good mood is a choice. That's so true. Thanks, Nim. You're very welcome, Geeta. It is indeed a choice. And Bhavisha says, this came at the right time today. Yay! I love videos that come at the right time and help people hopefully go through their day a little bit more positive. So that was it for today. I will be back on Facebook posting probably around mid-May. I hope you miss me, because I miss you all too. And in the meanwhile, Instagram will be on. I don't post much there because Facebook really is my favorite platform. But YouTube, I have lots of exciting things in store for YouTube. So my channel will, moving forward, be focusing mainly on communication skills and self-confidence. So if you've not checked out my channel, please do. Lots of fun videos in store. I will be posting every Tuesday and every Friday. Plus Sunday chats with Nim on Facebook will continue. So Bhavisha says, me too. And Pratika says, love your work. Thank you so much, guys. Mwah. Love you all. Continue being positive, and hopefully you'll all make your dreams come true. I will see you very soon with my next video. The next video will be on Tuesday on YouTube. So do go and subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell icon so that you get notified. And yeah, take care. See you soon. Bye-bye. Oh, Geeta says, we'll miss you on Facebook for sure. I miss you all too, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.